What's up? Man, what could I tell you? Uh, a lot of things were exposed last night. A lot of people thought the game was over. Ben Simmons was just the greatest thing on earth. And they were up 20 some points early, rolling. And Ben Simmons only had 1 point during that time, during that run. And they couldn't get him going. And they need to have him going in order to free up all the shooters on the team. Guys was hitting shots and they were hitting it, and it was in transition, and then something happened. And this is why coaching is key and youth is another. We saw this happen with Miami Heat. Miami Heat they just don't have the personnel that can consistently uh, play together. A lot of guys over there are hot tempered and they turn into individuals. But if they played together as a team, they would have had a lot more success against Philly. And they just didn't have the personnel to pull that off. Here you have a team that's very well coached and disciplined, even when they're trailing. And Philly is not a great defensive team that way. Their athleticism makes up for a lot of things that they normally would, run in trouble with, in certain parts. But here, Boston presents a problem for them because their weak side defenders can't guard Boston. They can get by those guys. So if they can get to the next level, you have a problem. You have a very serious problem. These guys can get to the next level and get by any guy you got, Bellinari and all these guys. So that's going to put pressure on Joel Embiid in the paint. Because if they're getting by them with these, it draws him in. Big Al's taking him all the way out to the 3-point line. His rebounding is going to be low. The rim protection is going to be low. It's going to open up the middle of the basketball floor, so they're able to get shots that they want. And the biggest key here is how they're guarding Ben Simmons. By isolating him and taking him out, it's making these guys have to work harder to try to get their shots off. And making him very uncomfortable by Marcus Smart playing him so close and getting in his chest. You see, other players they're so afraid of the fouls being called that when a player does that, normally they like, well, no one's going to take the charge. People play back, afraid that he's going to run right by him because of his speed. Smart's not worried about that. He knows he has the help. So they work as a team. You could press him and make him have to work to get by you. Force him to make the decisions. And by them being a young team, they don't do a lot of handoff passing like Boston does. Boston limits their turnovers by doing a lot of handoff passes. Philly don't do that. So now they don't do a lot of handoff passes, it leads to turnovers. And that's the way the old NBA used to be played. It used to be handoff passes. Then used to be all this bounce pass, splitting the lanes. It was very rare you saw those plays coming in where people were passing from one side of the court to the other. That stuff that we see now, that's the norm, is not how it used to be because it opens up the floor for turnovers. So bringing a defender over there and the handoff passes, those were the way it was played in the olden days. But it lessened turnovers. People's like, it's bringing another defender over. But no, it does a lot more than that. When you play that style, it forces your team who's defensively has to guard you. They have to communicate because somebody's got to pick up the guy that's getting the handoff pass because he can't get through the screen. He's not unless he knocks over the guy that's handing over the ball. His man now got to rotate over. And then they do it to another one, a back-to-back handoff passes. Now the other guy got to rotate, and you're all off balance, and nobody's communicating on the weak side. Somebody could be making a cut towards the basket, so it's a lot of different things that change once you start doing handoff passes. And Jason Tatum has made it personal that his name is not being mentioned as far as rookie of the year. His name has not been at all, since the beginning of the year, and they act like he didn't exist and he didn't play on a team that was like, okay, we are number 2 in the division, but I guess because we were in Boston and we got Kyrie and everyone else, but these guys have been hurt, and people forget he's a rookie. And he's out here outplaying Ben Simmons for the first 2 games. He's been taking this personal, and he's out here to shine, and he's proven right now that, hey, I'm a rookie too, and I think I'm pretty good just as much as this guy. So for the 2 games in a row, he's outplayed him, and that's how they beat Philly. Philly's gonna have to learn, even on the road. Don't think just because you're going home, everything's gonna be sweet. Um, no, you're gonna have to dig deep for this one. I'm out.